Our second presentation of the day is going to be our first on a population or a subpopulation that we'll say is over 50 years old. The senior population, keeping your drive for life. One of our most tenured TPI professionals, Diana Del Garbino, out of Portland, Oregon, is going to be talking to us on five concepts that you can actually utilize and put in place immediately for that population. So, expert, please take it away and talk to us about keeping your drive.
Thanks, Lance. Good to see you. So golf reminds me when I was a police officer in Southern California and I was assigned to the SWAT team. I had to qualify for that and I made it. I was the first female on our SWAT team in Southern California. And I was the first one in the door because I'm a little bit smaller in stature and everybody else was about 6'2" to 6'5". We'd come in with our guns. I carried an AR-15, had a .45 on my hip and a backup weapon, so I weighed 50 extra pounds with all that on. I had to come squat down, get in the door, and I had to make a lot of decisions in that moment. Who was on the couch? Who had a weapon? Who was in the corner? Who was behind me? Who was coming in next to me? So having to make all these decisions reminds me of golf because it was what I did before then to prepare myself helped me to make sure that I had a great outcome. I had to be prepared mentally, physically, and emotionally. And that's what I'm going to talk about today in keeping your drive for life. We're going to talk about aging. We need to be ready mentally, physically, and emotionally. So I'm Diana Del Garbino. I'm from Muscles in Motion. It's a personal training studio just outside of Portland, Oregon, in a little town called Lake Oswego, where it's freezing right now, so I'm really happy to be here in the sunshine. And like Lance said, I have been doing TPI golf fitness since 2009. That's the primary purpose of my business, along with one-on-one sessions. So we're going to talk about 5 keys to aging. The first one that we're going to talk about, I think, is the most underrated tool that there is to keep yourself healthy and to help you, I'm over 50, to help us as we get older, and that's sleep. When we don't get enough sleep, and everybody, I can see all the nods out there, yep, we need more sleep. We're so willing to get rid of our sleep first before anything else. I'm willing to work longer hours and get less sleep. I'd rather go to this thing and stay out too late and lose out on my sleep. But what that does is that's one way that it ages us so much faster. They're finding that when we don't get enough sleep, that we're more prone to diseases like diabetes, heart disease. We also don't rejuvenate all the cells that we have. That's what happens in our sleep. The other thing is our hormones get rejuvenated overnight. They get balanced. When our hormones are out of balance, we're out of balance. We don't think straight. We don't make good decisions. If my hormones are out of balance when I was coming through that door, I'm not going to make the right decision. And the same thing on the golf course. I'm not going to make the best decision when I feel all out of whack. So sleep is definitely one of the #1 tools that we have for aging. And so some of the techniques that we can use to help with our aging excuse me, is cold room. Go to bed at the same time every night. Give yourself a window of about an hour. I go to bed between 8 and 9 o'clock. Yeah, I'm old. I like to go to bed early because I get up really early. I love the sunrise, not the sunset. So I go to bed between 8 and 9 at night, and I give myself that window. 9 o'clock is the cutoff. My room is really dark. It's really cold. I just have blankets to cover up with so I sleep better. And I make sure that I don't have my electronics really light in the room. I also use an eye mask that helps to cut that light out. What happens when I go to bed every night at the same time is my body starts getting used to going to sleep at the same time. Then I wake up at the same time. I wake up between 4:30 and 5:30 every morning, even on my days off, and my body is ready to wake up. So it's no longer this struggle and I'm fighting against, I didn't get enough sleep, but I still need to get up early. I'm creating this environment that's going to help me wake up, feel refreshed. My employees freak out at me at 6 in the morning when I'm like, woo, let's go. Let's get everybody rallied up and let's get happening. That's how I wake up. I don't drink coffee. I don't like coffee, it kind of makes me nauseous. I drink tea, so I'm not dependent on these things. I actually wake up feeling really good and revitalized because I've got enough sleep. I sleep anywhere between 7 and 9 hours a night. So making sure that you have those things in place. The second thing we're going to talk about is hydration. We are so dehydrated as a community, and that dehydration does not help our bodies. We are 75 to 80% water. Our muscles are 75 to 80% water. Our bones, our brain, and our blood. We want to keep everything moving. When we have enough water, it helps to create a cushion in all of our joints. You never hear of people getting their muscles replaced, right? They get their joints replaced, so we want to protect them as long as possible. So making sure that you are hydrated. My friend Robert Yang, he is also part of TPI. He talks about taking your body weight. So if you're 200 pounds, cut that in half, drink that amount in ounces per day, 100 ounces per day. I do not weigh 200 pounds, but I drink 100 ounces of water per day. I live in an area that's really cold. If you're from Florida, it's really hot. Either one of those are going to dehydrate you. When I'm out playing golf, I have fleece-lined pants, I have boots on and thick socks, and I have about 5 layers over me, plus a coat and a hat. I'm sweating under there and I don't even realize it because it's so cold. That I'm getting dehydrated equally as much as if I were in the sun. I'm getting the same in that cold climate. So making sure that I have enough water, making sure that all of you are drinking enough water is going to help with the function of your body. The muscles have this sheath around them called fascia, and when we get dehydrated, that fascia sticks. It's kind of like a sleeve on my shirt here and my arm. And we want that fascia to move freely, and hydration is one of those ways that helps that. So the more water you're drinking, the better. It seems hard to get enough water, and especially if you're trying to drink it all at the end of the night. What's going to happen? You're going to be up all night. Try to drink the majority of it in the morning. I wake up with a big glass of water. I'll drink 1 or 2 of those before I go to work, and then I'll have some tea when I get to work. Drinking that, I put a little bit of Celtic salt in it, which helps keep my mineral count up, because I don't want to dilute what I have, right? I want to keep those minerals because those minerals help keep my body in homeostasis. If I increase the water but I don't increase the minerals, then I'm just diluting it. So I increase the mineral count, so now I have equally as much, and I'm actually staying more hydrated. Has anybody ever had soft water before? They have that in California where I'm from. Soft water, it's just not so dry when you drink it. You just feel more refreshed. So Celtic salt helps with that. Lance knows, he knows about soft water. So I cannot push this one enough. Drink enough water. Drink, drink, drink. Just keep drinking that water. I carry around a water bottle with me wherever I go. It's 20 ounces. I fill it up 5 times a day, so I can do the easy math with that. And I can remember how many I've had. So make sure you're drinking enough water. It's going to help you on the course as well. But I find that a lot of my clients, the majority of my clients are over 60 that I train. And this is one of the first things we start with. You got to start sleeping better. You got to start drinking more water. And once they get used to it, it's amazing how clear they are. Their brains are clear. No, seltzer water is not the same. No. So we want to make sure that you're getting good, clean, plain water.
Doesn't really count.
No,
Right?
it doesn't count.
Water.
Not just liquid, water, like straight water. So making sure that you have that in your body. But you're going to realize how clear-headed you become, and especially when you're out on the course, you become more clear. You can see things clearly as you're going along. So sleep is number 1, water is the second. The third most important thing is protein. I cannot stress this enough. You are losing muscle mass as we age. When you hit 50, you're losing about 3% of your muscle mass per year, and then it doubles. And then it gets even more. So you're losing muscle mass as you go. And what's it replaced with? Fat. So we don't want that. So the more protein that you eat, the better you are able to keep and maintain the muscle. It also does another funny thing. It makes you satiated, so you're not so hungry all the time. There is not one meal that I eat per day. I eat 5 or 6 times a day because I just love to eat and I love food. But I eat protein at every single meal. Now, I am not saying that that's the only thing you should eat, but that should be your primary goal, is to make sure that you're getting enough protein. So the rule of thumb, and the exercise scientists go back and forth on this, but right now they're all agreeing to the same thing, and they have for quite a few years, that it's 0.7 grams of protein per pound of muscle that, or per pound of weight that you have. So here's easy math. If you're 200 pounds, you need 140 grams of protein per day. Now a piece of steak, about 4 ounces, is about 25 grams. So you can figure out how much you need to eat per day. So think about that. You're putting protein in. It's helping to repair your body. It's helping to get your hormones balanced. It's keeping and maintaining that muscle that you have on your body. It's not going to keep you so hungry. You're not going to be starving all the time. You're going to feel like, hey, I ate that. I don't need to eat as much. I don't need all the extras. I don't need all the bread and the sugars. I eat those as well, but I don't eat them all the time because I have so much protein and fiber that I'm eating. Fiber is the next thing you want to make sure you have with it. So vegetables and meat. I don't know about you, but I love a good steak, and I love it with my vegetables, and I could eat that every day. But find the protein that works for you. Some people don't like steak. Some people like chicken. They like fish. Whatever works for you, but make sure you're getting enough protein. This is going to help you stay healthy. Yes, sir. 140. So it's 0.7 grams of protein per pound that you weigh. So for most of you men, you might weigh around 200 or so. You can start going from there and adding that. But you want to really make that your priority. Don't just have a meal where you're sitting there and you're eating chips or you're eating popcorn. Have your popcorn with some cheese. Have your popcorn with your steak. Have some chips with that hot dog. Make sure you're eating some protein with every single meal. This is going to keep you more satiated. You're going to eat less during the day. You're going to feel better. You're going to think straight. How many times have you gone on the course and you don't eat at all? I know there's lots of you, because I've done it too. And I don't think as well. My body gets tired faster. All of a sudden I start thinking, holy cow, I'm hungry, and now I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. Making sure you're drinking water and eating while you're on that course is going to be really important. Okay, so we have sleep, hydration, and we have protein. The next one I want to talk about is lowering your central nervous system. So getting out of fight or flight. So your sympathetic system is fight or flight. That's where fight, flight, or freeze. You're either ready to fight, you're ready to run, or you don't know what to do. You're just standing there and nothing's happening. This is a state of survival, and we don't want to be in survival throughout our life. We want to be in our parasympathetic. That helps our digestion work. That helps calm us down. That happens on the golf course when you play with the guys that you really like and you have community. That's when you get that parasympathetic and you lower that central nervous system. This also is how we sleep better. When we get our central nervous system down, we start to sleep better. We feel better. We're not so anxious. We're not running through our whole day and I screwed up on that thing and I screwed this up. It's also how we talk to ourselves. When we talk to ourselves kind ways, and like I'm talking to a friend and I say, that was a great shot, and I hit one and I go, wow, that was a great shot, I'm lowering my central nervous system, so I'm in that parasympathetic area that's going to help me be responsive instead of reactive. How many of you have played with somebody that throws their clubs or yells after they hit a bad shot? I can't play well when I'm with someone like that. It jacks my nervous system up. I go into fight or flight because, remember, I was a police officer. If somebody's yelling, there's something going on. So I'm going to go react to that. And I still have a lot of that. So it takes me out of my calm, zen area when I'm playing golf, when I play with my really great friends. And when someone's yelling, now I'm all thrown off. And I know there are other people that happens to as well. So we want to stay in that calm. Meditation is a great way. Listening to music is a great way. being around the people who are good to you and kind to you help lower your central nervous system, help keep you calm. Playing golf helps keep you calm. You're outside. That's one of the main ones, is going out and playing golf. He's shaking his head no. Then you've got to learn how to keep yourself calm and talk nice to yourself. But these are the ways that are going to help you age well. Because if we're always running way up here all the time, we're in that fight or flight and we're just always amped up and jacked up, that puts a lot of stress on our heart, on our organs, on our whole system, on our brain. So we want to stay calm. I have 2 clients that I play with. One is 70 and one just turned 50. The one that's 50, he's playing on the U.S. Amateur up in Oregon right now, and the other guy is 70 years old. He's retired. He played 15 years ago, and then he came back and started playing. They're my favorite, 2 of my favorite people to play with because they are so mellow. They hit a great shot, and we all just watch it quietly and say, you know, good shot. They hit a bad shot, no one says a word. We just go on and keep going. We don't need to make a comment. And it's just, I played some of my best rounds with them, and they've played some of their best rounds with me, because I'm the same way. I like to stay calm out there and enjoy myself. So find good playing partners. Find those guys that you mesh with, the girls that you mesh with. Add a female to your group. We're fun. We play golf. We can play fast. And it just makes the experience that much better. So lowering that central nervous system, getting home at night, don't rehash all the bad parts, rehash all the good stuff. Just build yourself up, and build yourself up helps you to stay calm. So once you get out of that fight or flight and you get into this parasympathetic, you're going to start making better decisions because you are responsive instead of reactive. You hit one in the trees, it isn't the end of the world. You know how to get it out. You just tell yourself, I can still make par on this. It's going to help you have that longevity because you're not going to hate the game. You're not going to hate yourself being out there and playing. Hating yourself is another way to raise your central nervous system. Be kind to yourselves. Enjoy being with yourself and enjoy being with your friends. So we've talked about sleep, we've talked about hydration, we've talked about protein and lowering your central nervous system. And now we're going to talk about my favorite part, and that is resistance exercise. If you are aging, you have to have a resistance exercise program. I don't care if you are 90 years old or you're 49 and you're about to turn 50. You better be working out. There is nothing worse for your body than doing a repetitive exercise without doing something to strengthen the muscles around the joints and to do something on the opposite side as well. I get guys that come into me, I have so many stories. I love the guys I golf with and the guys that come to my company. So I have a guy that came in, his name's Jerry. He literally looked like this. His back was so rounded, he could not put his head on the ground. He drives 800 miles a day sometimes. He has a very busy job, very busy work schedule, and he golfs. But I said, turn your hips. He says, I don't know how to do that. I don't turn my hips because I'm going to hurt myself. Because the body thinks that if you are weak, it wants to lock up. It's going to lock you in place so you don't hurt yourself. The brain's whole job is to protect your spine. And if it thinks that you're going to bend over or swing in a way that's going to hurt it, it's going to lock you up and it's not going to let you move. And this is what happened to him. He got locked up and then he said, okay, well, something must be wrong, so I'm never going to turn my hips. I'm just going to swing with my arms. And that's what he's been doing. So he started working with me last year, beginning of last year. Now he can lay flat on the ground. He can actually put his arms all the way up. And he lowered his handicap and he swings a whole new golf swing. He turns his hips first before his arms come through. And he's so impressed with himself that he's having more fun than he's ever had on the golf course. How do we do this? We did it with resistance exercise. I started him pulling exercises, stretching out his pecs. We did chest press. We did pull down to strengthen his low back. We do glute work to help his glutes fire so that those protect his back. So the hamstrings, the glutes, and the low back are a team. When the glutes don't work, one of these two takes over. Either you get those people that cramp in their hamstrings every time they do something, or you have somebody whose back is going out. So you have to strengthen the low back. It's so important for golf. If that isn't strong enough, then you're never going to have the power or the stability to want to turn fast through that swing. So having that stretching works, but stretching can go too far. Stretching is not everything. I think strength training is more important than stretching. Because again, the body is going to lock you up when it thinks you're going to hurt yourself, and if you just keep stretching the same area over and over again without any stability, you're just going to hurt yourself. So making sure that you start slow. There's nothing that says you need to do 100 reps today. And nowhere do I want you to do 100 reps, ever. I want you to keep it slow. I want you to keep it intentional. So the type of training that we do at Muscles in Motion is called high intensity training, and it's slow, controlled reps, and we do the most 15 one time, and we move on to something else. So it needs to be targeted, it needs to be intentional, and it needs to be hard at your level. It doesn't need to be hard at my level. I've been doing this since 2004, this type of training. It doesn't need to be my level, it needs to be your level. So when I have golfers that come in, I'll demonstrate, and they'll say, well, I can't lift that much. I said, I know, I don't care if you can lift that much. I want you to start where you are, and then we'll work our way up. You're guys, you're always going to be stronger than me in my upper body, and that's fine. We're all different. So I want to make sure that you find somebody on your team, and that's going to be part of that community to help lower your central nervous system. Find somebody on your team that can work with you where you are and then start building you up from there. If you train with someone who says you need to be here and that's where I'm going to start you, you're going to get injured. We're all built different. We all have it at 50 plus, we all have things that have happened to us. When I was getting in and out of the car on patrol every day, my knees were hurting. I had a gun belt that was, digging into my back. I had issues going on from that. And I use strength training to make sure that I could sustain that lifestyle and I could sustain that job. When I had all my SWAT gear on, I weighed 50 more pounds, but when I was on patrol, it was only 30. But 30 pounds extra, imagine if you're carrying 30 pounds extra. That's gonna be a lot on your knees and your back. And that's okay as long as you are doing something to help combat that. That means some sort of resistance exercise where you're training to strengthen your back. I got guys that have bellies, I don't care. That's how their body works. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong, it just means that's where you are, so strengthen up the parts that are gonna help you to be able to hold that and still be able to swing well. The legs are the next one. You've got to have strong legs. I cannot tell you how many guys come in and they go, oh, my legs are fine. And I can outlift them in their legs. And I'm like, come on guys, we gotta build this up. And they go, well, I didn't realize, I thought it was gonna hurt my knees. I thought it was gonna hurt my back. It's all part of that chain. The hamstrings, the glutes, and the low back all go together. There are safe ways to do this without injuring yourself. Moving slow, moving controlled, not throwing the weight. So remember we talked about people getting their joints replaced? Nobody gets their muscle replaced if you work the muscles slow and controlled in both directions. The joints no longer take the brunt of that. The muscles actually cushion the joint, which allow you to walk better, which allow you to swing better, which allow you to lose that pain in your shoulders. My client Steven came into me at a slap tear in his shoulder and he said, there's nothing you can do about that. I'm just gonna have pain for the rest of my life. 3 months later, he plays pain-free and plays golf 4 to 5 times a week. I play with him 2 times a week and he plays on his own the rest of the time. We worked around that injury to heal it and build the muscle in his shoulder so he no longer has that pain. So don't let anybody tell you that there's not ways to work around that there's only one way to do it. You've got to find someone on your team that's going to help you get there. Does that make sense? This is, to me, high intensity training, resistance exercise. That is Next to sleep, those are the two things that you have to have as you age. Now, I get this question a lot. Well, you can't build muscle after 60. Well, there is a study from Tufts University where they had a group of 14 people in assisted living. So they were not in the kind of live on your own assisted. They actually had nurses coming in and helping them. They went down and did training 1 time a week for 12 weeks. And of those 14, 13 of them moved over to the non-assisted living. They just moved over to where they had an apartment on their own. Because you can build muscle. And what was the median age of these people? 92 years old. So don't let anybody tell you that you cannot build muscle as you age. You can, you just have to work a little bit harder, and you need to eat that protein. That protein is what's gonna help you to maintain that muscle on your body. And it's gonna help you to combat the aging. Gravity is always pushing us down, right? How many people in your groups used to golf like this, and now they tuck under and they round their back? How many people do you know like that? There's lots of them. I see them, they come in all the time. I had 2 guys last week start a program with me. Both of them had a C-spine. They couldn't push their hips back because they were so weak in their backs that they could not hold themselves up. So it just makes sense. You tuck your hips under and then you just round to get to the ball, or you get your stance a little wider and you can get there. And they're good golfers. You can work around anything, but they don't have to. They don't have to. You don't have to suffer like that, having that terrible posture, because that terrible posture leads to other things. It's going to hurt your neck. It's going to start rounding your shoulders. How many of you know guys that have their shoulders rounded this way? Those muscles in the back are so stretched out and they don't contract. They're having such a hard time pulling their shoulders back and getting this into alignment. A resistance exercise program will help you do that. And then when you have good posture and you can hold yourself in place, now you can get into that athletic position instead of the old man C-spine, rounded shoulders look. That make sense? So if I can help you in any way, let me know. Here's all my contact information. I want you to sleep more. I want you to drink more water. I want you to eat your protein, 0.7 grams per pound on your body. I want you to find those friends in that community that help you feel good about yourself and bring you joy. You should be having joy on the course. If you're not, find new friends, because there are really wonderful people that will support you out there. Meditate, read, sit at home and look out the window. Whatever it is that brings you joy, do those things. And get yourself a resistance exercise program. Find someone that understands how to work with people from our age group, 50 and up, and let them help you to build your body so that you can play this wonderful game that we all love called golf. We love and hate it, I know, it's frustrating. But it should be a joy to be out there, and it should be a joy to be in your body. I don't care how old you are. So thank you for your time, and thanks, Lance, for having me.
If anybody has any questions for Diana, please let us know. If there was a 6th thing we should know, is don't mess with her because she's a SWAT team expert. Thank you very much. And if you have questions, please stop up and she'll spend a lot of time with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.